School board to order.
Get under control.
Give him the look. Give him the teacher look.
Scary.
That rowdy crowd.
Y'all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I have an extra.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keelan makes a motion. Mr. Anderson seconds that. Vote, please. Dan.
Dan abstains.
Number 3, citizens participation statements.
Mr. Vice President, we had no one request permission to appear in front of the board as per policy BDDH.
4, written communications.
We had no written communications either.
Number 5, citizens update. Military update.
Hello, Mr. President. Okay, this Friday, the installation Fort Leonard Wood will kick off with the first of many events to recognize the Month of the Military Child. We'll have a Children and Youth Mad Hatter Parade on Replacement Avenue, which is down CDC Row. The parade is Monday at 4 p.m. The rescheduled Kids Trout Fishing Derby that was scheduled for the month of March due to weather was rescheduled to 7 April, so it'll be on Saturday. It'll be at Stone Mill, and the event is from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And children must be there with an adult, and that event is open to the public. Later that same day, on Saturday, the 7th of April, the community will host the 23rd Annual Fun Fair. Location, again, is on Replacement Avenue and near the CDC Center and the school-age building and the parking area. The event starts at 11 o'clock, goes until 3, features a variety of games, activities, and hands-on type demonstrations, fire trucks, this and that, and it's open to children, it's open to the public. And then also, Dr. Henley, just for your information, the monthly fun runs kick off.
Oh, thank
They
goodness.
start in April on
Okay.
the 14th,
Yes.
so
He'll
at 9
represent the
o'clock at
school.
DFC.
I just sprained an ankle.
Oh, okay.
He was pole vaulting the other night. He came down and put a lesson on, so.
Okay, so then you'll take his place, I'm sure, Mr. President. No,
Won't be
no.
him because
Again, Dr.
unless
Fulmer's
you know
world-renowned for
CPR,
that.
I won't be there.
Well, okay, I'm not winning on this one, but anyway, the run will be on Saturday, the 14th of April, and then will be all the family runs will start each month going into the summer. Also, April is a busy month on Fort Leonard Wood as a military. We'll recognize several themes throughout the month, and I'd ask that, that the public and so forth look at those events on calendars, social media, and so forth. But it is Autism Awareness Month, Alcohol Awareness Month, Month of the Military Child, Child Abuse Prevention Month, National Volunteer Appreciation Week, and Gold Star Spouses Day. So all going on in the month of April at Fort Leonard Wood, and thank you.
Thank you. District announcements. Dr. Herring?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and hello to all of our fine Wood and Williams. Look at that. Love to see it. It's great to see the crowd. I know you'll hang around till late, so we look for maybe not. So, and I love the T-shirts. Outstanding. All right, look, the Wood Tiger T-shirts this year. All right, we're recognizing 2 schools tonight, Wood Elementary and Williams Early Childhood Center. I want to thank each and every one of you from both of our schools, and I look forward to tonight's Spotlight on Education. Now I'm going to talk about the Hunchback of Notre Dame here, and I want to say that Mary Ann threw a lot of fancy stuff in here, so hopefully I get this right. Based on the Victor Hugo novel and songs from the Disney film, Waynesville High School Theater and Music Departments and Thespian Troupe 1669 will present the musical The Hunchback of Notre Dame at 7 p.m. on April 19th through 21st and April 22nd at 2:30 p.m. The cost is $4 for elementary students, $6 for middle and high school students, $8 for adults, senior citizens age 60 and older who reside in the Waynesville R6 School District and who have a senior citizens athletic pass will get in for free. Senior citizens may pick up their passes during regular business hours at the WHS Athletics Office or at the Superintendent's Office. Spring sports season is underway with co-ed track and field, baseball, boys golf, girls soccer, and boys tennis. The district track and field competition will be held May 12th at Waynesville High School, and this will bring a number of guests to our community. I would like to invite you to participate in the opening ceremony for Special Olympics on April 19th at Waynesville High School. The ceremony begins at 9:15 a.m. with events immediately following. Our district will hold its annual volunteer banquet on April 26th in recognition of the 2,030 volunteers who have logged 10,296 hours of service to the district. To all of our volunteers, I want to say thank you. Students will be out of school on March 30th and April 2nd. Graduation remains Friday, May 18th. However, because of inclement weather days, our last day of school, as of right now, will be May 25th. The election for school board members will be on Tuesday, April the 3rd. There are 5 candidates seeking to fill 2 positions: incumbents Paul Schultz II and Andy Anderson, and Christopher Kramer, Alberto Reyes, and Janet Kreider. MAP testing time will begin shortly, and attendance is critical. Every healthy child should be in school every day. That's all I have, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Bid recommendations, Dr. Berger.
Yes, Mr. President, just the one, and pretty simple stuff this month.
B, financials, Dr. Berger.
Financial report for March 10th, 2018, with Missouri Securities Investment Program, $42,603,268.43. CDs with the Bank of Crocker, $10.5 million. In our general account, $2,794,248.25. Payroll account, $3,349.97. Total funds for March, $55,900,866.65.
Thank you. I need to make a motion to approve the consent items A through K. Mr. Anderson makes a motion.
So moved.
Dr. Fulmer seconds. Vote. 5-0, Megan. Item 7, student recognitions. Mr. Scott. I'm sorry, all state. I don't have my glasses. I wasn't expecting this, but you're still on.
All right, good. I'm still up. I'm going to introduce a couple of our head coaches to come up and speak about their student athletes, if that's okay with the board.
Sounds great.
Okay. We'll start off with Coach Smith and a wrestling program.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm Lucas Smith. I'm the head wrestling coach here at the high school. This is my 15th year in the district. I'm here to recognize 3 of my all-state wrestlers. This year we qualified 9 athletes for the state meet, which is a school record. These young men all qualified for the state meet, as well as placed in the top 6, which earned them all-state honors. The first one is Gavin Sachs, who took 5th place at 132 pounds. Next is junior Michael Cassidy, who took 4th place at 145 pounds. And next we have Sean Sachs, senior, who is a state champion at 138 pounds. He's the only second undefeated state champion in Waynesville history. I'd like to tell these guys congratulations. The good thing is, Gavin, Michael, they get to be in our program for the next couple of years, so we look forward to big things from them. Sean recently signed a letter of intent to wrestle at Westminster College in Fulton, where he'll continue his academic and athletic careers. So thank you guys for all your continued support. We look forward to talking to you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, guys.
Figured they'd be happier because they're not having to make weight anymore. They're not smiling. Next, we'll go ahead and bring up, this is exciting, girls basketball coach, Coach Matlock.
Hello. We have senior Rashana Stone, and throughout her career, we've played in 3 district championship games. We've won 1. She has scored over 1,500 points in her career and led us this season to a 20-5 record, and we were ranked in the top 10 in the state most of our season also. She's looking forward to playing college basketball. She's undecided right now, her family is from the East Coast and is possibly looking to move back there. So we have some things in the works there, but there's some schools here in Missouri that are nudging her pretty hard. So either way, looking forward to seeing her play and thankful for the opportunity to coach her. Something I do want to say is, you coach the kids, and some of them, they expect the award, or, okay, yeah, hey, I know this is coming at the end. Something that will stick with me about Rashana is she was playing in the Missouri Challenge the weekend that we voted on All-State. And so she got done playing, and I had already told the news to her mom because I had some coaching friends that are on the staff. They were like, guess what? And I was like, no way. So after the game, I told Rashana, I was like, man, I loved being a fan, getting to watch you and Kiara play one more time. And I said, you know what? And she said, what? I said, you made All-State. And she said, no way, Coach. Did you tell my mom? And I said, yeah, I told your mom. Like, I'm not pulling your leg. And it was just instant tears. I was like, I've never told anyone that they've received an award or they were nominated for this. And it just hit me like how much it meant to her. Because she's like, I had just asked my mom, like, Mom, what do you think I have to do to get All-State? I said, well, you don't have to think anymore, kiddo. You did it and you earned it. So congratulations.
And then we have two more. Next one, Coach Turner, you can come on up.
Good evening. Coach Jones and I are pleased tonight to recognize two of the many accomplishments the softball team made this year. We were successful on the field. We had like 14 wins, which is the second most in school history. And we averaged over 7 runs a game this year, which was the most, or the best offense in school history. But among those on-the-field accomplishments, we made a lot of accomplishments off the field. And the first accomplishment that we'd like to recognize through our Coaches Association is the Team Academic All-State. And as a team, we had a GPA of 3.32 for a varsity team, which gave us as a team an Academic All-State award and recognition. Thank you. Oh, sorry. And then the second award, which is an individual award, goes to Academic All-State as an individual. And in order to achieve this award, you had to have a 3.5 GPA, you had to start in 70% of the games or more, and then you had to either be a 24 ACT or a top 25% in your class, and that's after the first semester's grades. And so with those things to meet, we had one student, a fabulous student, our center fielder, our number 2 hole hitter, on base machine. Megan Pattison is Academic All-State.
Hang on, Mom's not done.
And we didn't tell Scott and Jody that we had theirs also. But if you have one team that works to kind of double play our kids to make sure that they know their grades are up, it's these two. So just take one more second because Jody and Scott really care a lot about our kids, both on the field and in the classrooms, and they are all over them for their grades. So want to tell those two thank you also.
Okay, 8, CTA Spotlight on Education. Mrs. Blakely and Mr. Bayfaden.
Good evening. It's good to be back. Tonight, I'd like to recognize Charisma Rush and Vanessa Mason, if you would both come up. It's good to recognize fellow teachers, and it's great to recognize friends. Miss Mason has been with the Waynesville School District for 5 years and is completing her 14th year in education. She received her bachelor's in music and education from Culver Stockton College and her master's in education from Walden University. Her husband also works for the Waynesville High School, and they have a son, Ezekiel, whom I call Zeke. I think pretty much everyone does. Yeah. He's 2. Miss Mason's hobbies include leading worship at her church, sewing, quilting, and making new experiences for her son. She says the best part of her job is that she gets to see all of the Wood students each week, and she knows each of them by name. She enjoys watching them progress from one grade to the next, seeing the awesome people that they are becoming. Our staff had the following things to say about Miss Mason. She works hard to ensure our students get the most out of music. She puts a lot of work with each of the musicals after school. She goes above and beyond regularly. She takes an active role in our community by serving on various committees. She provides suggestions and solutions, as well as being a positive light for students, parents, and her coworkers. Her genuine concern for all students is evident every day, and we are blessed to have her at Wood. Thank you for all you do, Miss Mason. Next, it's my pleasure to honor Charisma Rush, who's also a great friend. Ms. Rush is a former military sergeant who served over 6 years in the United States Army as an air traffic controller. She began working in education field as a substitute teacher in 2009, then transitioned into the working full-time as a paraprofessional. Currently, she is a paraprofessional for our ELL department, but she is helpful wherever she is needed. She intends to earn her teaching certificate in the area of early childhood education. Our staff had the following things to say about Ms. Rush. Ms. Rush lights up our school with her smile and contagious laugh. It is clear that she loves working at Wood and helping all students become successful. She does a fantastic job of identifying who needs help and guides them to success. She has a super positive attitude and works hard 100% of the time, helping students whenever she can. She builds relationships with students and motivates them to be their best. She is always willing to jump in and help wherever and whenever possible. Ms. Rush is a joy to work with. She is cool, calm, collected, engaging, and always fun with her students. She demonstrates a high level of professionalism. She's a remarkable team player. And I'll have to say, she's always ready with a good morning, honey, or good morning, sugar, or something to everyone she meets. It's a pleasure to hear her every morning, and thank you for all you do, Ms. Rush.
I'll take two, and he'll take at least one, okay? 1, 2. Okay.
Am I in it or taking it?
No, you're taking it. Bob's gonna take one.
Okay, I'll take one and then I'll give him one. All right, on the end or?
Just right in there. There you go. Just come on, Mr. 1, 2. No, it's okay. 1, 2. There you go.
Good evening. It is my honor to present this to Mrs. Tina Kramer. If you guys could come up, there they are. Mrs. Tina Kramer is in her first year at Williams Early Childhood Center. Sometimes we might say she's surviving her first year at Williams. She services children in the early childhood special education classroom. These are some things her colleagues have said about her. She has a real heart for every child and works to meet their needs where they are. She is always positive, respectful, kind, and friendly. She knows her students very well and builds relationships. She meets each individual student's needs. Everything she does is student-centered, and we have all seen that there. She applies a lot of different creative, fun strategies, very fun. She is always very positive and supports the building's vision and mission. Now, we asked 2 of her students to tell us about Mrs. Kramer. One said, she's nice, and the other one said, now this is my best imitation, she'll know who it is, good teacher. I'm sure you know who that is. So it is my honor to present this to Mrs. Tina Kramer. That's how he says good morning to us every morning, too. It is also my pleasure and honor to give this award to Mrs. Jordan Rivard, because she's so sweet. Mrs. Jordan Rivard works as part of the speech and language pathology team at Williams Early Childhood Center. She services students with both speech and language delays. Her colleagues have said she works very hard, quietly and efficiently. She loves the kids and the school. She is always willing to help. She is patient with the kids. I can say from personal experience that some of my children that are hard to understand, when I ask them questions that I need to write the answer to, I sometimes go to her to have her help me figure out what they're saying, so I appreciate her. She's always willing to help. She just is. Students have said she makes it fun. I like to play games, and I like to play, and that's what they get to do while learning with Mrs. Brevard. So thank you.
Thank you all very much. Number 9, staff recognition, third quarter project teach award, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. Project Teach is sponsored by Seller Sexton Auto Group. Seller Sexton Auto Group will donate a $100 stipend to Deidre Holmes to support expenses related to the project's materials and supplies. Mrs. Holmes teaches early childhood special education at Williams Early Childhood Center. Mike Freeman is here tonight to award Mrs. Holmes the third quarter Project Teach Award.
Well, good evening, and what an honor it is for me to be here again tonight. Isn't it great to recognize these great teachers and students for their great accomplishments, and give them another nice round of applause, if you would, showing them your appreciation of that. It's an honor for Seller Section to be here to recognize, again, one of your great teachers, and this is your third quarter teacher of the quarter. Miss Deidre Holmes, I share with her in the choir. She is a great singer also. You all might not realize that, so you need to get her to sing for you sometime. So a great singer. So tonight we're recognizing her for accomplishments with the early childhood special education children of the Waynesville School Districts at Williams School also. Mrs. Holmes' AM and PM classes are busy as bees. We're learning to be respectful, be responsible, and be learners. And they are in very much need of supplies and manipulative, for the Science and Math Center. Our new themed curriculum has been introduced this year. From now through out the school year, the preschool children will discover the how and why of science and math through learned skills such as sorting, weighing, observing, naming, numbering, inspecting, building, and creating. So in the next 3 months alone, the children will explore themes like family and nature, foods and smells, farms and gardens, save items that we need. Some items that they need are easy grip safety tweezers, age-appropriate microscopes and slides, super safe eye droppers, vinyl aprons, and shake and removal cards. While all these items will be used throughout the school year in this Science and Math Center. So Ms. Holmes is being recognized tonight as your third quarter teacher of the quarter. Give her a nice round of applause if you would. Congratulations to you. Super. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Holmes. And Mike, again, I say this every time, thank you and Seller Section so much for what you do for this district. We surely, truly appreciate what you guys do. B, Transportation Employee of the Month, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my honor to recognize tonight Mr. Timothy Hamilton as Transportation Employee of the Month. Mr. Hamilton has been employed as a bus driver with our district for 12 years. He has exceptional attendance, mentors our new drivers, always comes to work with a smile on his face, and he is the most requested trip driver that we have in our district. And in fact, I just received a compliment about a trip you did this past weekend from a teacher that said, I just want you to know I had the best bus driver ever taking us and picking us up from Kansas City. It was over spring break. I apologize, not this past weekend. I think his name's Mr. Hamilton. Great attitude, very pleasant. He would make a great employee of the month. And guess what? He is, so Mr. Hamilton. Thank you so much. You are invaluable to us.
Thank you very much. Move number 10, discussion items. A, ESL program evaluation, Dr. Washington.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of presenting an overview of our English as a Second Language program here at Waynesville Public Schools. And we're going to go through the slide presentation as it comes up and talk about the program here in our district and the teachers who support that program. We have 3 program objectives that we focus on here in Waynesville, and that's to help students increase their social and academic language, provide them with the support in order to be successful in their classes, and provide classroom teachers with support and coaching to meet the needs of our EL, which is our English learner students. There is our fine ESL team. At Freedom, we have Miss Jody Taylor and Crystal Wilson Vermillion, who also services as our ESL facilitator. Williams and Wood is Miss Chelsea Lane. Partridge and Thayer is Elizabeth Zolman. East and Piney Ridge is Barb Smith. At 6th grade center is also Crystal Wilson Vermillion. And middle school and high school is Stephen Torrance. And we have 6 great ESL paras who help us meet our goals. And there they are at Christmas together. The demographics of our ESL program, we currently have 278 active students, and amongst those students, we have 38 languages spoken, which is one of the most diverse ESL programs in the state of Missouri, and Spanish is still our prominent language in our program. There's 3 goals we're going to focus on this school year and next school year, and I'll let you read those up there, but that will be our main focus as we move forward. Thayer Elementary is one of our K through 5th buildings, and we're going to talk about things they're doing this school year. They're utilizing a variety of instructional methods, critical thinking, choice boards, and integrating technology for their research projects. Real world application, they've been making stone soup, reading, finding the ingredients, working on social skills, and then sampling the recipes. Partridge, another one of our K through 5th grade buildings. Again, some of the instructional methods that we've been utilizing is open-ended questions during PBL, choice boards, and utilizing the scientific method. We've integrated technology in almost all of our lessons. We're utilizing Google Classroom. The students are uploading their work, and they're able to share it with their parents and guardians. Flexible grouping is also being utilized based off of students' learning profiles, and students have created their fire safety kits, and that was thanks to Seller Sexton for the Project Teach grant that Elizabeth Zolman received for her students. Wood Elementary, another one of our K through 5th grade buildings. Over 10% of our total EL population is serviced there. This year, co-teaching is new to Wood. It's been going very well. We're actually pushing in our ESL teacher into the regular ed classroom so they don't have to be pulled and lose instructional time. They've started a new buddy system where our EL students in 3rd through 5th grade buddy up with one of our K through 2nd grade students. They're working on sight words, math facts, and it helps our older students with social skills. They had a fabulous food drive. Over 200 pounds of food was donated to our local food pantry, and they were very proud to present that donation. Williams Early Childhood Center, that's 14% of our student population is serviced. The main focus at Williams with our younger students is oral language skills and conversation. You're looking at learning reading, writing, and speaking and making it fun and relevant for our young learners. At East Elementary, one of our large K through 5th grade buildings, this year the East team has collaborated with our ESL team at the high school, and they've done many projects together, and they've worked together with that collaboration. With the technology integration, the EL students, they did iMovie as a form to display their ideas, and it was hands-off from the teachers. It was the students working together, and I just wanted to highlight a quick video to show you what the students produced.
thinking of the people, our people, as okay, when I was in the Philippines, we studied about regions, because I came from Philippines, I'm Filipino, and we studied a little bit about it, that the white people, I mean, when I say white, it's their president, Mr. Johnson. Do you think something like this would happen today? I don't think so. I think that a lot of people are being selfish nowadays, and so thanks for watching your video. I'm sending you out there. Peace out.
So as you can see, they work together and they're getting better and better at doing iMovie and utilizing what they've learned to show us through the EL News. And I'm waiting for it to click over. There it is. Okay, real world application. At East Elementary, they've been recycling and working with the community on several projects. Freedom, another one of our large K through 5th grade buildings. The breakdowns there for you guys to see with our EL population. Collaboration has been the key this year with ESL and special education collaborating together and working on projects such as a cooking show that they put on. With Building Community, they also donated food, over 1,500 pounds of food. They collaborated and donated to our local shelter. 6th grade center. Co-teaching has been the key there as well. It's the first year the majority of our English learner students have been placed on the same team to allow for co-teaching. Again, we're trying to keep them in the regular ed classroom so they're not pulled from instructional time. Some of the achievements for our co-teaching teams, they've shown the most growth on the STAR test. They've had students who were finalists in the community interviews, and the classroom teachers brought in a guest speaker for one of their PBLs. The middle school, which services our 7th and 8th graders. ESL Cultural Connections has been the theme this year, and they've worked on projects related to things that maybe they've experienced in their own life and shared those experiences. And then our high school, our 9th through 12th grade students that we service. Collaboration again with East Elementary, and as you saw, researching the Trail of Tears and the history, and then also researching Native Americans. College and career readiness is always our focus, so we've really looked at career paths for after high school for our students. And that is my last slide. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Good job.
Thank you very much. B, proposed job description revisions. First reading, Mrs. Bills.
Thank you. The following attached proposed job description revisions are presented for your review as first reading. 3.19.1, Speech and Language Pathologist. 4.8.4, Accounting Specialist. 4.13.9, Practical Nursing Program Secretary. 5.1.3, Parent Educator. Administration will request approval at the regular April meeting of the Board of Education.
Thank you. D, proposed 2018-2019 Transportation Handbook. First reading, Mrs. Bills.
Thank you, Mr. President. The proposed 2018-19 Transportation Handbook is presented for the board's review as a first reading.
Okay. Now we'll go to C. Glad you're awake.
I was, yeah.
Henry said you were asleep when we were talking over there, so I thought I'd
thank
throw
you for
that
the test.
curveball.
I'm glad I passed.
Proposed 2018-2019 Classified Mentor Handbook.
The proposed 2018-19 Classified Mentor Handbook is presented for the board's review as a first reading.
Thank you.
Thank you.
E, Waynesville Middle School construction update, Dr. Berger.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are very excited to have Don Hussman and very excited to see the structure really come to life down there. So we'll get the latest and greatest update and pictures.
I can move this chair.
Thank you. Okay, well, as Dr. Berger says, we're in about the last quarter of construction, so the building is really beginning to finalize and take shape both on the exterior and on the interior. We'll see some slides this evening of really the last phase or component, which is oddly identified as Area A, but not right here. We're standing in the courtyard. But with regard to Area A, that's the physical education wing, and that has really been the last piece to go up or to move forward, but it's really, they're making a lot of progress. Here we're standing inside the courtyard looking at the area where the students can exit from the building. It's right under where that yellow band is, and ultimately that yellow band will be clad in silver aluminum. Let's take a look at a few more slides. These are all a couple of weeks old. This is from March the 7th. Again, a little bit more exterior wall construction. Again, moving right along. Entries are just about complete, shy of the aluminum cladding, which will really make this building look quite similar to the 6th grade center once it's complete. This one's a little dark, but it's the view of looking back toward the library and the cafeteria. And as I drove on to the site this evening, all of that is pretty much fully enclosed now. Wonderful views from the library out onto the site. And I think I have an image of that. Yeah, here it is right here. We're standing in the library looking out. Not that students will be looking out, but it is a wonderful view for them. So, and this is the Area A, the physical education wing that's under construction right now. I think they're getting very close to most of the masonry walls that are load-bearing masonry walls are in place, and I think they're getting ready for installation of the roof beams and decking pretty soon. This image is a little difficult to see, but now the interior corridors are really beginning to take shape. They're actually painting in some areas, so it's, again, from the interior really beginning to look like a new school. This starts the photos from March the 21st, and we're looking inside. I'm not sure if that's the cooler or the freezer, but that's being installed now. Here's a view standing inside the cafeteria itself, looking back into the space. Again, another corridor shot in better light. These really show up quite a bit from the standpoint of paint on the walls and such. We've got a workman doing a little bit of preparing for the acoustical ceiling to be installed. The sunshades are going in on a hazy day, but they will be used once the sun is out. And again, a progress photo showing the library and the cafeteria a little bit closer of an image, and you can see now all the glass is being installed. I believe this might be the no, this is the second from last. We're looking into the physical education area, and that is the weight training room. And those windows looking in will be borrow lights from the corridors so that you can observe students actually training in the room. And this is if we were standing in the room looking out. So that is our construction update for this month. Can I answer any questions from anyone? Okay, if not, thank you.
Thank you. It's looking very good. Winter sports program, Mr. Scott.
Okay, I'll run through the exciting part and the most proud part we'll kind of touch on again, but was our student athletes a little bit earlier today. That wasn't like that one. I'm sorry about that. It's a little goofy reading, but if you notice one really exciting thing, all of our varsity teams had a GPA above 3.0. And in fact, the lowest GPA was a 3.16, which is really awesome when you look at that. We had 3 of our basketball players recognized at the local KGL All-Star Banquet. Rashana Stone on the right, who you saw a little bit earlier as an All-State basketball player. That is Carson Cavalier in the middle for boys basketball point guard, and then it is Kiara Shoulders on the left, point forward for our girls basketball team. Carson is a junior. He will be coming back, and unfortunately in the Missouri State High School Activities Association, we can't have either of those 2 young ladies for a 5th year because we'd be really good again with those 2 coming back. Looking at our participation numbers, both our participation at the high school and the middle school were up this last year over the winter. We had 138 high school athletes in the winter, 126 middle school athletes. Our academic GPA, just a touch on it again, 3.75 and above is all conference, 3.5 to 3.74 honorable mention. We had 24, that should say winner, excuse me, academic all-conference athletes. Our athletic awards, all of these numbers increased from last year. We had 19 all-conference, 15 all-district, 4 all-state athletes, and 3 fall awards for academic all-state. And now it's a picture of Sean Sachs from Columbia. It's awesome, 49-0. That was him on the mat whenever the referee, right when the referee stopped time for the end of the 6 minutes. I'm beeping. That's a cool picture. That is our wrestling team. They won the conference tournament. If you've been by, one of the things the wrestling coaches did is they went together and they made a wrestling team traveling trophy. And since we are used to winning it and used to storing it here in Waynesville, Kevin's guys made us a really nice border and a place to put that trophy right outside our wrestling room. So last year it was empty, so now it's back. So it's pretty neat if you come by, and we like it being empty because it's something for our kids to see every day if we don't win it, for them to have a focus and a goal for. So put that up because we're really proud to have that back. That was Michael Cassidy on your right and Gavin Sachs in their state placing matches up in Columbia. And then there's Rashana Stone again. Girls basketball all-state. First girls basketball player we've had all-state for a couple of years since Callie was actually the Missouri Class 5 Player of the Year and first team all-state. Academic all-state, it's just depending on the coaches associations, when they do it, what time they meet, when they get everything in. The upper left-hand corner is Ethan Gatzmeyer. He was academic all-state for football. And then you saw Megan earlier, and our team, to have a team in the top 10 in the state for GPA for your team to be academic all-state is an awesome honor, and that's what our softball team did, and we recognized earlier this evening. To go over our goals again for professional development, Tiger performance training, community outreach, and academic assistance. I'm going to hit on a couple of those this evening. The first one I'm going to hit on is community service. Coach Box, you can kind of see him on the Charlie Brown wall back there in the back right corner. Coach Box got with Andy Cochran from Waynesville St. Robert. We also invited some Fort Leonard Wood youth soccer recreation coaches. And on February 24th, the Saturday before our season started, we invited all of the youth coaches from these areas to come out, and Coach Box led 4 two-hour sessions. He led 1 hour in the classroom where he went over soccer theory using U.S. Youth Soccer for the Parent-Coach Training Manual, and then we went out on the field for an hour, and he showed them, all right, here's the knowledge we gave you, let's apply it and put some training sessions together. And the whole idea was to try and give back and help organize and help Andy give his coaches within the Waynesville St. Robert community area some tools and some guides to move forward in our rec leagues. We plan to do this again in the fall. Some of those youth coaches got to experience Coach Box for the first time. The 24th of February, it was raining, but Coach Box told them, don't worry about it, we have a turf field. So they went outside and they just went ahead and trained in the turf field for an hour. After that, that is combined with what Coach Box did with our girls soccer program. Something that is going on in soccer is our high-level coaches are getting training, getting education. They're becoming better prepared in the country, but we're not training anyone else at the lower level. And so the United States Soccer Association came up together and they created a curriculum for next generation youth coaching and leadership diploma. And we had 29 of our girls come in and take this course with Coach Box and actually brought a trainer in from USA Soccer from Wisconsin. He had a 12-hour course. It was the introduction of understanding U8 play, leadership training, 4v4. Coach Box has taken this is he's putting a 10-hour community service requirement on our girls that attended this, and he's asked them to go out, and we've teamed them up with those recreation coaches that we talked about this slide before, and they are to go back and help train our younger kids and our youth kids with those coaches. So the idea from Coach Box was you want one of our high school athletes to help you and support you, and we want them to give back to the community. We'll come to that first training part, and we're going to team those up first. So it's kind of neat. We're going to try and do it again in the fall. The girls loved it. They did not want this 12 hours to end. They had a great time. And the best part is they were learning soccer knowledge without even thinking about it. You know, they were at a 12-hour high school practice and didn't even realize it because they were having fun in a different way. Coach Matlock, I wish she was still here, but one of the days she took our students over to Miss Rodriguez's class, and I think it was Freedom, to read to some kids. So that's 3 different clips of our girls basketball players. Several of our teams throughout the year go down to the middle schools and visit with those kids and talk to those kids or read to them. I think this may have been Dr. Seuss Week, and it's really neat for the younger kids to see the high school athletes come in and give back. We are continuing with our Fort Leonard Wood outreach with Tiger Performance Training. This group of people came in, the military groups with Lieutenant Colonel Caruso brought his guys in, I think, 3rd hour or 4th hour. It was a great workout. That was them afterwards. They were really sweating and putting the work in, but it's been a really good relationship that we've had with our PI partners. And the last exciting thing, May 12th, we are hosting the district tournament. Districts is there's a little more sitting around between events because everything is timed and there are some prelims for this. But the best news about it is it's a week before graduation, so we don't have to set up after graduation outside. So we'll take a little more leeway and a little extra time to have another week. So that's my presentation. Thank you, and thank you for letting us bring the kids in earlier in the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. C, Professional Development Handbook,
President?
Dr. Atkins. Yes.
I want to make a comment. What Coach Box is doing right there, I hope that's setting us an example for all of our sports programs, because that's what I envision for growing your program and growing quality programs. So
I
I
agree.
applaud him.
Yep. Good job. Professional Development Handbook, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. The District Professional Development Committee Handbook is presented for a first reading and will be brought as an action item during the April Board of Education meeting.
Thank you. H, MSBA Policy and Procedure Updates. First reading, Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. We are submitting several different policies and procedures for your review in the first reading. There are a couple of procedures that need to be deleted in there. We do have one policy that is being reviewed by our local legal counsel, and we'll have that for you in the upcoming month.
Thank you. 11, action. Proposed 2018-2019 Certified and Classified Personnel Handbook. Second reading, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you. The proposed 2018-19 certified and classified personal handbooks were presented last month for the board's review as a first reading. Administration is requesting approval of these handbooks as presented at this time, please.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Keeling, second by Dr. Fulmer. Vote. 5-0, Megan. B, 2018-2019 student handbooks. Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Student handbooks for the Waynesville R6 School District were presented for a first reading at the February meeting of the board. Administration requests a motion to approve student handbooks as presented.
Any questions or comments? I have a motion. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Deering seconds. Vote. 5-0 Megan. In favor. C, board policy update. JGR1, JGR2, JGR3. Dr. Atkins.
Thank you. Updates to policies related to student discipline were presented for a first reading at the February Board of Education meeting. These changes were presented as part of the handbook, were proposed as part of the handbook revision process. Administration requests a motion to approve board policy updates as presented.
Any questions or comments? I have a motion. Mr. Anderson makes a motion.
I'll
Second. Mr. Keeling seconds. Vote. 5-0 in favor, Megan. D, proposed job description revisions. Second reading, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you. The following attached job description revisions are presented for second reading. 2.22.4 Technology Integration Specialist, 2.23.1 Computer Technician, 2.30.1 District School Psychological Examiner, 2.30.2 Educational Diagnostician, 2.8.1 Library Media Specialist. Administration requests approval of the above named job descriptions at this time, please.
Questions or comments? And bless you. I have a motion.
So moved.
Dr. Fuller makes the motion. Mr. Deering seconds. Vote. 5-0 in favor. E, Principal Director Evaluation Changes. Second reading, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you. A committee of administrators met recently to discuss changes to the evaluation rubric for principals and directors. Based on those discussions, administration made changes to the evaluation rubric and presented those to the Board of Education at the February 20th meeting, and we are asking for approval of the above changes at this time, please.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Keeling, second by Mr. Anderson. Vote. 5-0 in favor, Megan. And F, P card, Dr. Berger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And I sent a lengthy board update February 2nd,
You
kind of
did.
outlining this issue, you recall. Even in the public content, again, on the action item this month, it was a little more lengthy, but to sum the issue is part of ESSA was a restructuring of our accounting code. So we're in the current year, fiscal year 18, we will be until June 30th. The restructure of the accounting code, our financial package system, e-finance, does not have the ability to bridge FY18 into FY19. Our normal practice would be in the last quarter of this fiscal year, our teachers and principals start writing out requisitions. Our business office processes those throughout the summer, so we're ready to go. It's been disappointing, but again, our e-finance does not have the ability to bridge from FY18 into FY19. The creatives, and we're not the only district. I mean, if you're an e-finance district, you're faced with this challenge. The creative way around this that we came up with was we negotiated with our P card, and it would be to basically put what we call our essential spend through that time, basically that just those requisitions that would come out of the building levels to be ready to go in August. And then we negotiated a no interest rate on that level. We're asking for a $2 million raise to the limit, but it won't be that much. But that would certainly raises the limit to a level that we won't hit through that essential spend. In July 1, or by the end of July, by the contract, we have to have those credit cards spent back or paid off. And then we go back to normal business as normal, because then we'll be completely into the next fiscal year, the new accounting code, and we're off and running. So with that, excuse me, let me get to my motion here. Motion to approve adding 26 cards and raising temporary purchasing limits to $2 million to accommodate the April-June essential supply spend for FY19.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
I talked to Dr. Berger today. This is a workaround, to me, a one-time thing.
Right, yeah, I think we had that conversation.
I'm not an advocate of putting out 26 more credit cards out there. But for this, that's the only way around it, I guess. I'm very disappointed in our Sun Guard or whatever this deal, that if they can't do something like this, it disappoints me terribly, that they can't put a patch on, a patch on that thing and have it ready to go on July 1, and bam, and it loads up. That's all. I'll get off my soapbox now, Mr. President, and I'll make a motion to accept the
Mr. Keeling makes a motion. Have a second. Dr. Fulmer seconds that. Have a vote, please. 5-0 in favor. Megan, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there is a need to go into closed session, closed record, closed vote as allowed by RSMO 610.021, Section 3, hiring, firing, and disciplining or promoting of employees, and Section 13, individual professional records, performance ratings. Motion to enter into closed session.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Keeling makes the motion. Mr. Deering seconds. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are going into closed session.